The story in this video has been narrated in a slightly softened manner in compliance with YouTube guidelines and ethical values, without straying from the actual sequence of events or reality. Nevertheless, this video may contain disturbing materials and statements that could be upsetting to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. In 1996, an incident in the Kırkağaç district of Manisa became one of the most horrifying events Turkey has ever witnessed. The event was so shocking that it stayed in the public spotlight for a long time, even impacting people's daily lives. At the center of this unimaginable incident was a restaurant owner named Oktay Tayfun Bölge. What made this case even more horrifying was the fact that the perpetrator was a restaurateur. Tayfun Bölge attempted to cover up his heinous crime in ways that would send chills down anyone's spine. Mustafa, a young boy from a modest family in Manisa, worked during summer breaks at a local industrial site to support his family financially. Mustafa and his friend would head to the industrial area in the mornings and stop by a local restaurant for lunch. After work, they would take a minibus back home. As time went on, it was natural for these two kids to become acquainted with the local shopkeepers. One of these acquaintances was Oktay Tayfun Bölge, the owner of the restaurant they frequented. Over time, the children became closer to him, spending evenings chatting at the restaurant and sometimes getting a ride home in his car. Unbeknownst to the kids, this growing familiarity emboldened Tayfun Bölge. One day, after finishing their work, the kids went to the restaurant for a meal. After eating and chatting briefly, they waited for Bölge to finish his tasks so he could drive them home. Once he finished, he instructed them to head to the car, and shortly after, he joined them. While driving, Bölge suddenly pulled over in a desolate area. The kids, having no idea what was about to happen, likely assumed there was a problem with the car. They trusted him and saw him as a brotherly figure. However, Bölge began making indecent proposals to the boys, shocking and confusing them. As they struggled to process what was happening, Bölge escalated his behavior. One of the boys managed to escape the car and run away. Seeing his friend flee, Mustafa also attempted to escape but wasn't as fortunate. Bölge caught Mustafa and, despite his resistance, wouldn't relent. In a horrific turn of events, the deranged man silenced Mustafa's cries by ending his life. Tragically, the other boy, who had managed to escape, witnessed the entire ordeal from a distance, paralyzed by fear. It wasn't until much later that he could gather the courage to recount what he had seen. After taking Mustafa's life, Tayfun Bölge left his head at the crime scene and carried the body to his restaurant as if nothing had happened. In the restaurant, he dismembered the body and mixed the remains into the meals he served. This gruesome act marked the peak of the horror. Meanwhile, Mustafa's family, unable to contact him, grew increasingly worried and began searching for him. Their efforts were in vain, and after 17 days without any news, they started to lose hope. Mustafa's mother even began planning a prayer gathering for her son. While inviting people door to door in their small town, she took a shortcut through an olive grove, completely unaware that this was the scene of the crime. There, she stumbled upon Mustafa's clothing. Upon closer inspection, she realized it belonged to her son. Tragically, as she looked around, she also found Mustafa's severed head. The authorities were immediately informed, and a thorough investigation ensued. Police began taking statements from everyone in the area and questioning Mustafa's acquaintances. Through these efforts, they identified Mustafa's friend, who had witnessed the crime, and brought him in for questioning. Once the boy felt safe, he recounted the horrific events he had witnessed. His testimony left everyone present in utter shock. Following the boy's statement, the police quickly apprehended Tayfun Bölge, who confessed to everything, including the sickening detail of mixing the remains into the food at his restaurant. He was immediately taken to court, where he was sentenced to prison. His restaurant was also shut down permanently. The aftermath of this incident left a grieving family with an unimaginably traumatic story. Parents across Turkey were so terrified that some even refused to let their children go outside for a while. If you'd like to support me, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Additionally, leaving a comment will help the video reach more people. See you in the next video. Take care.